So what I do to start my content calendar is first I want to take a look at what's been working and what's not. So I am going to kind of switch gears now and talk about, well, actually, I want to just take a quick pause. Does anybody have any questions about the planning tools or any of the, why you would use them or anything along those lines? Seemed like everybody was following. Okay, great. So, so I'm going to switch gears, and I wanted to, oh, Evernote, I'm sorry, one more note. Evernote is a tool that people really seem to like as well. I've tried it and haven't really gotten into it, but it lets you save links and things like that. So Evernote's a pretty good one that people have told me that they really like. Has anyone used that one?
Okay. I have used it, but only for note keeping.
Note keeping and not planning.
No.
Okay, great. So before I talk about scheduling tools, which I know, like, you know, is the juicy part, I wanted to talk about the planning, the what I'm going to fill this beautiful February 2019 blank calendar up with. So so I sent over a worksheet. So the first worksheet I sent over is the content planning analytics worksheet. So I will open that up in this window. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go through how we figure out what is working and what isn't. So I'm going to start at Google Analytics, and I'm just going to answer these questions. This doesn't have to take a long time. I do recommend doing it once a month, once a week, as often as you can kind of get in and see what headlines are working and what headlines aren't working. You're going to just have that real time. Oh, I forgot to, let me shift my screen to this guy. Okay. So it's just going to give you that view into what's working and what's not. I know that I use Squarespace as a tool, so I know, oops, I did in here, let me, Anne asked if I shared that link, so I'm just going to share that again. And then there's a second Google form we'll be taking a look at too. Okay, so the first Google form is what's happening on your site, what's happening with the content that you're posting. So I'm switching over to my Google Analytics tab, and I'm going to take a look. There are a few different places I can take a look. I'm going to start, let's see, if you start just at home, where, like, do you guys use Google Analytics already to look at your site? I know that you have analytics, Cindy, on your site in a separate place, so I'm sure you can go in, like I use Squarespace, and same with me, so I can go in and see what's happening on my site without going into Google Analytics. So you probably have that same experience where you, okay, so it's just substitute that for this. Okay, so as I'm going in, I can see, first I can see kind of just this overview of where people are coming from, and then this, where are people going? So most of my people are going to the home page. What I would really be looking for is the blog posts. So as an author, I would be looking for which blog posts are getting the most, which headlines are getting the most traffic, and if you're using MailChimp, you want to look at MailChimp analytics to see which newsletter topics are getting the most click-throughs to your website. So just that high line, high level, what type of content was it? What is you can find out what the most popular day of the week is by checking into your behavior. So you can see, what do I want to see? Let's see what content people are visiting. Okay, so I can see here that January 14th, when I posted this, Monday was a popular day to visit my site. I can go down and see which pages they're visiting. Again, this is just to find out what to post. So for me, I mean, to fill this out, I'm going to say, you know, if I'm an author, I'm going to say the type of content was a blog post. The most popular day of the week was Monday. And the most popular time, I can go in and see, kind of get more granular with this. And I think almost everyone's program should allow this to get even more, let's see, zoom in. You can get more granular. You can see what time people are coming and what they're doing there. And then the audience tab that I'm on over here, there's a little more granularity on this view. And then we can go to hours. So this is the audience tab. I can really see at noon or at 11 on Tuesday, people visited. And most likely that's because that's when I shared. But it does give you, if there's a bump that's outside what you can explain, this is the type of data that's going to be really helpful to you to say, oh, people are clicking after work. Oh, look at that. So I posted that in the morning, and then after work, that's when people are clicking. So from now on, that's when I'm going to want to post. So you can say most popular time of day. I'm going to say about 5 p.m. And then the page name and keywords that I used. So if my blog post was about, I'll say blog post about astrology, and I'm going to say it was about Virgos, then I'm going to say the page name and keywords would be astrological signs, Aries, Taurus, etc. And that's what is bringing people in. I can take some notes on the audience as well. There's a lot of information that comes through Google Analytics, and I think some of that goes through, well, not in mine, I guess. Some of that goes through the programs like Squarespace and Weebly that we use too. So if you're using a different program, you should get a lot of this information as well. You can see, I mean, English is what language we're speaking. You can see what browser and operating system people are using. So you can get an idea, like, are they visiting desktop? Are they visiting mobile? That kind of information just helps you know what to post and what it should look like when you post it. Okay, so I'm filling this out. I'm gonna know that, and then I'm gonna go onto the different channels, and I'm just gonna see what's working on these different channels. So I will pull up Facebook Analytics and do the same. Twitter has great analytics. So you just really spend the time on the social media channel that you want to spend time on. You don't have to be on every single social media channel. You should be on the ones that make the most sense to you. So this is,
So basically, Sarah, if I understand correctly, this is a really good thing to do as like our kind of homework. Like if I wanted to do some homework tonight, I should take these two forms and just start filling them out with the data
yes.
that you're this work.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly right. So just take that look. It doesn't have to be as in-depth as all this. It just can be that top level. What you really want to do is find out what's working. You don't want to just keep throwing social media into, keep throwing out posts. So yes, it's homework, and you can go through to Pinterest Analytics. I wanted to make sure to show the back end of the analytics to anybody that wanted to take a look or understand them a little bit better, to find out what content is working and answer those questions about what time to post and what days that you might want to post. So that's what, yeah, I guess I want to answer specific questions about that rather than maybe go through all the analytics tools. I know that we talked last time, I know Jason and Cindy saw that Instagram has analytics too. That's very helpful to find out what time and day your followers are online. So any specific questions about how to tell what's working, how to tell what you're already seeing?
I can honestly tell you I have not pulled these analytics yet. I've continued to be posting. I've used Hootsuite, by the way, to integrate a little
Oh,
bit.
good.
I have not looked at analytics, so I can't tell you actually what works better.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Anne says she's warming up to the idea of looking at them. So yeah, it really does help just to see what people are going to react to. So I recommend taking the time to do it before you start a month of analytic planning. It's going to give you fresh ideas. It's going to give you an insight into how to double down on what's working, and that's what we all want to see, right?
fantastic.
So, okay, so those are the—
Sarah, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned sites like Weebly. So if I have a site on Weebly, their analytics that I've just barely peeked at are the same as Google Analytics or related?
Yes, they're going to be really, really
Okay.
similar. They're gonna at least tell you the days that people are coming. They're going to tell you if you have a traffic spike that's sort of unexplainable, and then you can say, oh, well, what happened there? You know, why are people checking it then? And that gives you that opportunity to kind of think about how people are behaving and the type of people that might be coming. So it just gives you that, like if people are coming around 2 p.m., you might say, oh, people are coming while their child is napping, or, you know, like depending on who your audience is, you can really get that idea of when and how they're interacting on your site. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, great. And then all the social platforms have pretty good analytics too. So you can find out what time people are checking out your site, what they're doing there. Facebook has great ones. I'm just going to show them really quickly. So because I think they're the clearest, like they're just so crystal clear about like, oh, what worked. So when I go to my my business page and I go to posts, I can just immediately see which posts. So I can sort here by let's sort by engagement rate. So I can see who's engaged. I can see what the organic engagement is, and then the ones that I promoted in addition. So it's just black and white right here. I can see that the library post did really well. The post about, you know, writing the books for my kids over the holiday season had a high organic engagement rate. So posts like that, I'm going to be scheduling out for the next month. I'm going to be thinking like, okay, what kinds of posts can I do about relating, you know, the world of lit and the world of family, and, you know, these different things that are coming together. So it just gets my brain going in a different way with actual data. And then of course, this is something I love, which is, it just says, when are my fans online? So I can go to Thursday and I can see like, oh, look, I have people are really online in this zone. So that's when I want to schedule my Facebook post. Jason, when you're scheduling on Hootsuite, this is so helpful because you can say, okay, so Thursdays when I post, it's at 6 p.m. because that's when people are online.
That's a really good. And by the way, I haven't actually tried the scheduling aspects of Hootsuite yet. I've done the integration, but not the scheduling.
Okay.
So that's next. I really think I'm going to have to do that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'm excited to show. I'll schedule a post kind of live, and then tell you how I do it for the different channels too. And just really quickly, I'm going to go over this a little bit more in the content content creeping portion of this. No, I mean, it's not really creeping. It's just seeing what other people are up to. So this is a feature in Facebook Insights that I really like. You can add watch pages. So you can add people that are doing the same kinds of things that you're doing, or writing about the same subjects. Like Jason, you could add Rick Riordan, and Cindy, you could add other activists in your Zone, Megan, I know you'll find people. This is a long loading period. So I can kind of, I'll click over to some of the scoping out other people stuff and then click back because it's worth taking a look at here. Actually, I have a couple more things to show really quickly. One is Google Trends. I wanted to make sure that you knew about this site. I think I shared it in our last session, so forgive if it's a repeat, but I think it's definitely worth, as you're thinking of ideas, as you're thinking about what you want to post and how you want to phrase it, because like your blog title is a search term. There's no other way to think of it, really, So even if you want to say that that what you're writing about is, in Megan's case, is shaping your space from the inside and outside. If people are searching for help with organization or something like that, you need to change the way you talk about it. You can always add your language in the blog post, but your subject line needs to be the thing that people are searching for if you want to get that organic traffic. So I'm going to just.
Is it necessary? So this is very interesting. You're looking at trends.com. So if I'm going to take advantage of that, like figure out how to tie my post in with a common trend that people are searching, do I necessarily have to embrace hashtags? Or if I know people are searching Russia,
Yes.
is it enough just to use the keyword?
No, in your posts, in your blog post, it's enough to use the keywords. In your social media posts, I do recommend hashtags. I do recommend using the hashtags on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook, I think it's not what Facebook is about. It's not how Facebook is really.
Sure.
It's just not how it's done on Facebook, if you will. So I think skip it on Facebook. Do LinkedIn. I think you should do it if you're posting on LinkedIn. If you're posting on Pinterest, I don't think you are posting, but Cindy might want to post on Pinterest. Megan should, Anne probably should. So I think it just depends on what platform. I mean, honestly, what I'm trying to say is Facebook, no, everything else, yes, I think.
Got it.
So, okay, but using those keywords is important on Facebook. So making sure that your post has because people are searching here, you know what I mean? People are searching for whatever they're searching for in that same search engine-y way, where their terms they're using. I mean, and authors, you guys have to think about this for Amazon too, of course, is the way that people are, if we think of Amazon as a search engine and not just a store, then we really think how are people going to be searching for my book? What kinds of messages, what kinds of desires will they be typing in, and then they want my book or my book should come up to to meet those desires. Does that make any sense? I feel like that got a little flowery, but I think you guys are following, know what I mean. Okay, so anyway, so this is the space organization. People are talking about kitchen cabinets, right? So cabinetry, kitchen cabinets, that's a great cue then for potential content that you wanted to put in here under this related topics area. And related queries are small space organization. So if you see, okay, space organization got about 50, the highest day in the last year was 100 Googles in that day. Let's compare it with that small space organization and see if that has any difference. You can put in these different ones. Okay, so space organization is still beating out small space organization, but you see how this works, so you can see what terms you're really going to reach your readers by using. So that is Google Trends. And the other one is Google Keyword Planner. As it's Google again, so it's a lot like Google Trends. But if you do want to find new keywords and you wanted to say, let's keep up with space organization because it's easy. We can pretend we're Marie Kondo looking for her book, or Netflix opportunity. So now we can see, so that's through Google Ads. So you would have to sign up for a Google Ads account to access it, but you don't have to be running Google Ads to do it. It's just a tool that's part of this. It's free. But then you see like all these different ideas, small bedroom storage ideas, so Jason, we can try like middle grade, I know it's not exactly fantasy, but I'll put that. Okay, so then we see all these other things, 7th grade books, middle grade books, good books for 7th graders. And that is where I love that kind of phrase because that's how I use Google. I type good books for 7th graders in there, and fiction books for 7th graders. So now you should have a blog post on your blog, and social media posts saying, you know, best fiction books for 7th graders, and your book is front and center, and then the other ones that you really like and the other ones that appeal to you, because you know, competition it's not about competition, right? It's just about like, I think some authors are worried to recommend other people's books, and I don't think so, because it's about connecting to people who, you know, you guys agree? Or do you have any qualms about that? I think everybody on this call agrees with that. So in Harry Potter books, of course, that's going to be a big one, but it might be an interesting thing to say, you know, other heroes like Harry Potter, you know, or something, getting in that Harry Potter keyword. So I love this tool because of this, because it just really pulls up what these people are searching for. And of course, it also tells me if I wanted to target any of these and I wanted to run an ad, what would that look like, you know? So it just gives me an idea of how much these keywords are worth, and what they're, you know, it just gets the brain going. It's like, okay, I could run an ad with that to this, and you know, so I enjoy this for content planning to see, to see what's going to work. So, okay, great. Does anybody have any questions up until now about these tools that I've shared, about how to chat, about anything along these lines? Okay, great.
No, this is genius.
Great.